Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Tap it in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Game week here at the University of Oregon, and it feels so good. Jordan Brenner here hosting Duck Insider. It's going to be a packed week of Oregon football content, just getting you ready for Oregon and Georgia coming up this Saturday. It was a productive weekend, by the way, for Oregon athletics outside of the football team. Oregon soccer going up to Spokane. They come down with a draw. I think that team probably feels like, hey, maybe that could have been a win. We'll get into more of that here in a little bit. Oregon volleyball started their season up in Portland in the Rose City. They come out of there 2-0, a gritty 3-2 win against Long Beach State, a team that I think surprised them a little bit. And then after that, a sweep of Portland State the very next day, 3-0. So we'll talk about that later on in this segment. Also coming up on this show, we'll hear from student athletes Noah Sewell and Justin Flowe, and two of maybe the best interviews of the entire preseason and of fall camp. We'll hear from them. We might get to Triquez Bridges. I already talked to Graham Abel earlier today. He's coming on the show as well to talk about that Oregon soccer weekend. But our first segment, I thought we'd do something fun. It is officially game week. It's game week across the Pac-12. I thought we'd just go through the 5 most intriguing games in the Pac-12. It's a significant game for the entire conference. I think we both know what's going to be number one on our list, and we'll get into that game in a lot of details in a little while. So just be patient. We'll get to the Ducks and Bulldogs. But let's start with number 5, and I'm going to bring in my partner, Ryan Milano, here as well, who's on the board today. Ryan, just jump in when you have any thoughts or whenever I say something particularly egregious. So, number 5, TCU, Colorado. This will be on a Friday, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Start your weekend off. Both teams are coming off of disappointing seasons here, Ryan. TCU, they got a new head coach, a former Pac-12 coach in Sonny Dykes. He used to coach the Golden Bears. We're expecting a high-powered offense for TCU, who brings in a lot of transfers. And, well, Colorado, there's no way around it either. A really disappointing 2021 season. After a 1-6 stretch, though, they finished the season 2-2. Wins over the Beavers and the Huskies. So maybe some momentum for Karl Dorrell in year 3, which is always an important year for a young head coach, Ryan.
Yeah, both these teams trying to turn it around. We'll really see which team gets off on the right foot. Someone has to win this game, and which team will be competing in their respective conferences, especially between these two conferences, is going to be interesting to see. Yeah,
Karl Dorrell, he's got to have a big season for Colorado. My main takeaway from this one, well, a Colorado win is a good look for depth in the Pac-12. TCU in the preseason coaches poll in the Big 12, right around 6 or 7, pretty average. Colorado, back half expected in the Pac-12. A win for the Buffaloes at Folsom Field. That's good look for the depth of the Pac-12. Number 4, our not-so-good friends from up north going to be playing Boise State at Reser Stadium. It's a game that will be 7:30 on Saturday, so hopefully you don't have to watch this because you're busy celebrating an Oregon Ducks win from earlier in the day. I hope I'm nowhere near my TV on a Saturday night for this game. But it is a significant game in the Pac-12. Two teams that expect to be in conference contention this season. The Beavers can run the football, but they have a week one problem, Ryan. They haven't won a season opener since 2015. It's not like 2015 was a great year for them. I just wanted to throw this in. They went 2-10 that year. So how about a Beaver victory against Boise State, and then they only win one game the rest of the year? That works for me.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd actually rank this game a little bit higher. I think that in the Pac-12 North, Oregon State, they're in a logjam of teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to finish up near number 2 in the division this season. And Boise State, a really good team. Andy Avalos, a coach that we know well here at Oregon. I think that's going to be a good matchup. Yeah,
Andy Avalos, always rooting for him, had some good defensive seasons here. His first year with Boise State last year, they went 7-5. Wins over some impressive groups, including Fresno State. Remember Jay Kaner and DeBoer and those boys last year? Yeah, they went to Fresno State. They also went to Provo and beat the 10th-ranked BYU Cougars. That was a 7-5 season for Andy Avalos' Boise State Broncos. This is as close as it can get. My takeaway is, both teams internally are telling you that they're going to compete for their respective conference championships. Boise State in the Mountain West, the Beavers in the Pac-12. I'm going to believe the winner of this game that they are actually telling the truth. Number 3, and I guess you're right. I think we could have put number 4 at number 3, but let's go to San Diego State and Arizona. I just think this is a really intriguing game, 12:30 on CBS. So whenever there's a commercial on the Oregon Sports Network or a commercial on ABC, you can flip over to CBS briefly and watch this game, San Diego State, Arizona. San Diego State coming off a huge season, Ryan. 12-2 under Brady Hoke. A dominant defense last year. A team that took Utah to 3 overtimes and then beat them. Of course, that was the famous game where Cam Rising replaced Charlie Brewer in the third quarter. You go to Salt Lake City, they speak about that game like it's some sort of prophetic, amazing type of thing. But Cam Rising came through, and Utah turned their season around against San Diego State when they were struggling. That's amazing that San Diego State had that good a year, 12-2, and they bring back a really good defense. They probably have one of the best secondaries, one of the best defensive lines, and one of the best linebacking groups in the Mountain West still under Brady Hoke. So we'll see how good they are this year. Meanwhile, for Arizona, Bruce Feldman and Max Olson, they put together a list of the 100 best transfers in the Pac-12 or in the country, and Arizona's just all over this list. So even though they won one game last year and they've only won one game the last 2 seasons, they bring in one of the best transfer receivers in the country from UTEP. They bring in Jaden DeLora, who I think Duck fans know is a dangerous dual-threat quarterback from Washington State. By the way, this is, according to this list, this was really interesting. It stood out to me. Washington State's Jaden DeLora ranked higher than Jaden Daniels, who transferred from Arizona State. He's going to be starting at LSU this year. That's how highly those two college football experts think of Jaden DeLora. So how quickly can Arizona turn it around? I think we're going to figure that out here. There were signs last year that Arizona's arrow was pointed upward once again. A 5-game stretch during October. Arizona played 1-score games with Washington and USC. They beat Cal. They put up 29 against Utah and only lost by 9 points against the Utes. So they really started to put it together as the season went on. They bring in some transfers. Does that arrow continue to point up under Jed Fish? That's what I'm watching for in this game. And how serious is San Diego State? Because they go and play Utah in Salt Lake City in a couple weeks as well.
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's going to rely on Jaden DeLora and how he can lead the Arizona offense. Can they turn those one-possession losses into wins? San Diego State has been historically good in recent years against Pac-12 teams. Arizona, they have a chance here, but I think at San Diego State, I think the Aztecs are the favorite.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely expect an Aztec victory in that football game. How big is that victory? I think we can learn a lot from that. Going to number 2 on our list, It's not the Oregon game yet. Hold on. We're going to get there. But Utah and Florida, 4 o'clock on Saturday at the Swamp. They're going to be expecting probably 90,000 crazed fans, right? Not enough time for those fans to get disappointed and start trickling out of that stadium. That's going to be a fully lathered up crowd. That's a challenge for anybody to go into that stadium. It's a challenge for Alabama to go down on the Swamp, no matter how good Florida is. So I think this is a really exciting football game. Florida, when you get 90,000, it's a night game too. It's going to be 7 o'clock on the East Coast. They put the alligators up on the scoreboard. They start singing. They do the chop, not the chop. The chop is Florida State.
You're missing the M.
They do the chomp. That's a real challenge for any team. In Utah, they're the preseason favorites in this conference. They bring back pretty much everybody except for Devin Lloyd to get those tight ends going, that run game. The defense is almost always all back. The O-line, it's all there. It's all there for them. If not now, when is it going to come for Utah? So that's a huge game, week 1, between the Utes and Florida Gators. Two just polar opposite programs. It's going to be fascinating to see those contrasting styles mesh in one of college football's great environments.
Yeah, I think when you look at this game, it's not on the exact same caliber as what Oregon versus Ohio State last year in Columbus was. It's not if Oregon gets a win down in Georgia. It's not what that would be. But an SEC win on the road for a Pac-12 team, that sets you up for not only regular season success, but propelling you further. This is a big game for Utah, especially if they get the W.
Huge game for Utah, 4 o'clock on Saturday, but obviously the number one game in the Pac-12, the one we're all looking forward to, 12:30 on Saturday, Oregon and Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Boy, oh boy, how many different things can we talk about here, Ryan? Let's try and narrow it to just a couple here.
We're still talking about this game, deservedly so.
Number one for me, Dan Lanning, his connection to Georgia. How does that come through on the field? Is it a big advantage for Oregon, right? Georgia loses so many pieces. Oregon brings back a defense with returners like Noah Sewell and Brandon Dorlus in the front, some experience in the back end as well. This is going to be a defensive battle, in my opinion. And how can Dan Lanning use those returners in the best way possible? Is it enough for Oregon to shut down the reigning national champions? That's my question.
Well, I think that's the right question to be asking, and we really won't know until we see on the football field. I think that if Oregon comes out and they punch Georgia in the mouth and they make a statement, well, then it might be a good tenure for Dan Lanning. And, well, if not, then Lanning, he's got work to do. But, I mean, Georgia's a tough test, and he's coming from his former team. I think there's going to be a lot of questions answered, but we have to wait to see what happens on September 3rd.
Yeah, certainly takeaways about the offense. Who's going to be playing quarterback for the first snap? Who are going to be those starting receivers? Who are those running backs that are going to be getting those looks early? We don't really know exactly what Kenny Dillingham is going to be trotting out there against last year a Georgia defense. And yes, they lose a lot to the NFL. That they're still riddled with 5 stars, and they're expected to be one of the best defenses in the country. So there it is. Thought we'd throw it out there. Monday afternoon, actually. What's a better time to do it? The 5 most exciting, most important Pac-12 football games of week 1 of the college football season. I had a lot of fun. Ryan, thank you for joining me. Let's hit on a couple notes from the weekend's proceedings for soccer and volleyball. Let's start with volleyball. They started their season against Long Beach State, and it went 5 sets. I don't think that's exactly what the Ducks wanted, but some interesting notes from that game, from that match. Brooke Nunneveller led all players, had 28 kills. It's one of the best players in the country, the All-American Brooke Nunneveller. Also, we're getting to know Mimi Collier, the freshman who put together a 16-kill performance. The senior Carson Bacon put down 11 in that 5-set victory. Coach Ulmer, after the game, said, it's just different than practice. Your mindset is different. How do you control your nerves? Can you execute when the pressure's on? He said he thought that the Ducks were wanting to play a little bit too pretty at times and needed to play a lot tougher. So what do? The next day they do play a lot tougher. And Mimi Collier led all players with 13 kills in a 3-set sweep of Portland State. They did it in dominant fashion as well. 25-12, 25-12, 25-18, the win against Portland State to go 2-0. Pretty cool that Oregon volleyball is back in action. Get your season tickets. Get out to Matthew Knight Arena. You're not going to see a more exciting program than that one. And then Oregon soccer, another tough road game as they get ready for Texas and Boise State later this week. They went up to Spokane to play Gonzaga. They went up 1-0. They went up 2-1. They leave Spokane with a 2-2 draw. Leah Freeman did all she could. Career-high 10 saves for Oregon's goalie. The freshman, Ajane Respass, with 2 more goals. 2 more goals for Ajane Respass. That gives her 3 for the season. A star emerging really quickly for Graeme Abel's squad. We got a lot more coming, though, on soccer. Graeme Abel's going to join us in a couple segments. We'll get a break and hear from the star linebacker, Noah Sewell, in what I think was the best student-athlete interview of the entire fall. That's coming up after this break. We're coming back to the Country Financial Studio after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Happy you're with us here in the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. It's game week. It's important to hear from me. Actually, it's really not important to hear from me, but it is important to hear from student athletes like Noah Sewell, who was not only informative, but was entertaining at Media Day. We had never actually played this interview for you guys on Duck Insider. It's from a few weeks ago. However, it was so good, and I think it hits harder. Hits harder. Is that what the kids are saying, Ryan? It hits harder at this moment in time during game week with Georgia just a few days away. Here's Noah Sewell, the linebacker for the Ducks.
You're obviously such a great player already. What do you think you focused on this offseason to try and to get better as a player?
Everything. Coverage, rushing, just all aspects of my game. Just try to improve.
What are some things that working with Dan and Tosh and all the defensive coaches have really helped you with?
Definitely my coverage. Understanding where my help is, just kind of getting the techniques down in my drops. It's just, they help me a lot with those.
What excites you about this year?
We got a lot to show. I mean, new groups of guys come in, young guys, and then new coaching staff. I just can't wait.
Dan singled out Dorless as a guy that's not getting enough praise. Can you just speak to the importance that he has on this defense and what you've seen and just what makes him so important for you guys?
He's the one that makes me look good. He holds the big nasties away from me so I can make the play, but I tell him, I'm going to be there behind you. I'll clean up any mess that you miss. You go make the play. I'll be right there right next to you. So.
One guy who's shown a lot of promise is Justin Flowe, although he's struggled to stay on the field. What have you seen from him this offseason as he tries to grow and get healthy?
His energy. Every time he comes on that field, you can feel his presence. And I'd always try to match that because he's always trying to one-up me. So it's like a back-and-forth competition, and that's what I need. He helps me to get better, and I'll help him get better.
Jeffrey was maybe one of the bigger surprises last season, moving from safety to linebacker and it being effortless for him. Just your thoughts on his growth and just the impact he can have at linebacker for you?
Really grateful for him for stepping up in that role last year. He really locked in, stepped down, kept his head down, and just kept on grinding. He stepped in and filled that role and helped us win a couple games.
No, obviously Dan's specialty at Georgia was the linebackers. Curious how much film you've been watching of guys like Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall.
A lot.
And what I guess takeaways have you gotten from watching those guys that just got picked pretty high in the draft?
Nakobe, just how he holds his other dudes in his position group accountable, making sure they know their jobs, making sure they're running to the ball, make sure everybody's taken care of. And that's what I like about Nakobe. He's just kind of the overseer of the whole defense.
Any other guys that you've taken away some stuff from?
Channing, he would run to the ball, and that's something I'd like to work on even more because I feel like I haven't done a great job of doing that. But that's one thing I'm gonna work on.
Why do you feel like you haven't done a great job? What improvement do you feel like you can make in that area?
It's just staying conditioned, staying in the best shape possible, so I can run to the ball every down, every play, not taking one snap off.
There's a lot of attention on you nationally this year. Just you had an older brother who was in a similar position. What did you learn from watching Nate go through that?
Don't let it get to your head. Just stay focused on your goal. That's it. Just stay focused.
What's the difference being in this program with this coaching staff from previous years?
Well, our first pillars in our DNA traits, connection. Coach Lanning emphasized that connection is really important because if you have no connection, there's no rhythm or there's no what's the word I'm trying to find? You can't really play with one another if you don't have the connection. Because I don't know what you're trying to do, what I'm trying to do. If I don't know what you're trying to do, I don't know how to play with you. But if I have the connection, so everything's going to click.
Did you do anything differently this offseason in terms of physical preparation to make sure you're in better shape or are able to run the ball?
Run a lot. We run a lot. I'd say we run a lot.
So what's a lot? How many miles a day?
Shoot, you might want to have to ask Coach Lowe on that one because we do run a lot.
This team has to replace Kayvon's pass rushing ability, among other things that he brought to the table. But you've got options. DJ's one of them. Swinson, just your overall thoughts on how that group is collectively going to replace.
They're looking good. No, they're looking good. Kayvon, he took a couple guys that were here under his wing, showing him the ropes. Swint, Mace, DJ, all going to do great things. They're really locked in.
You're obviously such a great player.
I got to be the biggest who out there. I got to be the biggest name. Since I'm the youngest, I just got to do it better than all the other brothers before me.
Is there a lot of excitement in the locker room now that you got a whole new coaching staff? It's like a whole new thing for you guys this year. What's the mindset with everybody going into it this year with a whole clean slate, new coach, new everything?
Everybody's just locked in, to be honest. It's kind of the first time I've ever walked into the locker room and everybody's already singing. It's 6 in the morning. You hear screaming, music playing. Everybody's just happy in that locker room. Like I said, the connection. Everybody's nice, tight, pause, sorry. I'm just ready to play with this team.
Where's it coming from? Is it the coaching staff? Is it just that
I think it's
mindset?
Both, coaching and mindset. if you like just put aside your ego and just really listen, everything will connect.
This program's won a lot of games, so the way that the season ended last year with the 2 Utah games and the Alamo Bowl and the way they played out, how much of a motivator has that been this offseason to not have that happen? Because it's been a while since you've gone through some of those games.
Yeah. Just know that I'm ready for a round 2. Nah, round 3. Round 3. I'm ready for a round 3.
You mentioned Justin feeding off of each other a lot. I mean, you've only gotten to play 2 games with him.
Yeah.
Just how much are you looking forward to hopefully being able to play a full season with him out there?
I can't wait. Just I pray he stays healthy. I pray he stays healthy because he could do some crazy things on the field that I've never seen before. His motor is top tier. His energy just. I wish you guys could like switch cleats and be on the field with Justin Flowe. Justin Flowe will make the play.
What have you learned from just, I mean, he hasn't been out on the field with you, but what have you learned from him throughout being alongside him, kind of in a different capacity over these last 2 years?
Focus on your game, and that spot that I'm in right now, don't let anybody take it, because it could be taken away from you just like that. So just play every down like it's your last.
Now, going back to your recruitment, you were recruited by Dan at Georgia, obviously visited down there. What was that trip like?
It was smooth. I didn't get to really like sit down one-on-one with Dan Lanning in Georgia, but just the stuff that he really sat with Coach Schumann. Yeah, I was spending more time with him, but Coach Lanning, he just kind of explained the whole defense, what I should do in my role for the defense, just kind of being a leader, making sure everybody's on the same page, we're all connected on one mind. That's it.
Obviously, you can pick anywhere you wanted to go for school, being recruited by Georgia, Bama, plenty of places in the SEC. What was it ultimately that, I realize it's the past that, but why you're obviously we know the next year, but I mean, like, you had free choice to do whatever you wanted to do. So.
Yeah. When it came down to it, my decision was my brother. I just wanted to learn from my brother, his game, how he approached the game. As you can see, he's doing amazing things right now, and I still want to learn from him. That's my main reason why I came here.
Barone was so important in the secondary for you guys and getting the defense lined up. Just who's kind of taken on that mindset for you guys and just the options that you have?
To be honest, everybody on that field. From the back end, we got Jamal, we got Scoop, BA, Triquez. All those guys really stepped up. They really stepped up to the plate and just taking it over.
How would you describe the money and back positions to somebody? Like, just a fan who may not know the intricacies
money
of
and
football
back.
that well, but I mean, they hear middle and weak side back and stuff. Money and back are in terms of the throw around as well.
It's just based on the personnel. If we're in base, then it's Mike and Will. If it's nickel, money back. So, just different personnel.
When you are studying, I'm guessing mainly Georgia tape and the spring stuff, when you're looking at that stuff, how exciting is it for you? When obviously you did a lot of downhill stuff before anyway, but obviously when you're looking at their tape and you see Jordan Davis and you've got both hockey in there, and what they were able to do with their inside backers to be A and B gap shooters, if that's you and Justin, how exciting does that make?
A lot. Just seeing the tape from Coach Lanning's defense at Georgia, it just gets me excited because we get to make a lot of plays. Everybody makes a lot of plays. That's what I'm just excited for.
Where do you feel like you have to make improvements now?
My coverage. My coverage. I feel like I've done an all right job in coverage, but I do need to work on getting my hips flipped more often, get more fluid in my drops, be more comfortable in drops in space.
How excited is it? How much easier does it make your job when Justin's healthy and out there on the field?
A lot easy, way easy. Because I know that if I look to my left, I see Justin looking scary, I know that he's going to do his job and I don't have to worry. So I'm excited.
You talk about being more of a leader by your actions. Is there somebody who's more of like the vocal leader on the defense, especially with Brown being on?
I'd say everybody, to be honest. We all try to, criticize each other, try to take on advice, how to get better and all that. But I just say everybody from the front line to the back seven is just, everybody just steps up.
That was Noah Sewell speaking with the media. A lot of good things to say. An entertaining player both on and off the field. There's no doubt about it. We'll take a quick break, and we'll get you an interview with Graeme Abel, the head coach of Oregon soccer, joining us in the Country Financial Studio after this. It's the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union, joined by the head coach of Oregon soccer, Graeme Abel, following a weekend up in Spokane. Coach, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here with us.
Good seeing you too.
So the trip up to Spokane, it's always a tough place to play up there. It's a good, proud program up in Spokane. Tell me about your takeaways from the trip, coming back with a draw, a game that, as I was following it, I was getting ready to celebrate a win. It looked to be that way for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough environment to play in. I think it was kind of their welcome weekend for their students coming back. So it was a good crowd, a good experience for us as we kind of get later into the year and playing in some tough environments. So, yeah, I mean, we'd done really, really well in terms of obviously taking the lead, and we conceded, and then we chatted at halftime about being able to come out quickly into the second half. We did that real quick and scored right away, which was great, and probably sustained too much pressure in terms of not getting enough pressure on the ball higher up the field, and we would eventually succumb to that, and they ended up getting the goal to tie the game. So. From our perspective, did we leave one on the table? For sure. We felt as though we should have won the game, where we'd set ourselves up. You can look at the shot count, but a lot of the shots are from 25, 30 yards, which if that's what they're taking, then so be it. Thought we defended the central areas fairly well, and were able to defend what they put inside the 18-yard box fairly well as well. So, yeah, felt as though we should have picked that win up there. And so as a group, we're disappointed that we didn't.
And that comes with where you want to go as a program. Those are the expectations that you want to have. I think those are good things to feel after a loss, but even so, some positives from the weekend that I also want to get to.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that as a team right afterwards. I mean, it's where we're at now as a program. It's when we go to these places, we expect to win the games. It's not coming in hoping we squeak out with a tie. It's going to these places and setting ourselves up to win the games. And road games are tough, and we've proved here, over the last couple of years that we can do it and do it really well. So we want to take advantage of those opportunities for sure.
Yeah, tough couple matches in a row against San Francisco and Gonzaga, two really proud physical programs here on the West Coast to get you ready for the upcoming schedule, which doesn't get any easier. I think fair to say that the team, with the chances they got, they were really efficient when they were putting pedal to the metal. Oftentimes, it ended up as a goal for the Ducks. That's one thing I was taking away from this game.
Yeah, we changed a couple of things just in terms of how we look in the attacking third and just some options for what we've got higher up the field. We still need to get much better with regards to that part of the game and continue to build upon that, get higher numbers up the field, do a better job in terms of keeping possession in their defending third, our attacking final third. So we'll get there. We'll get there. It's just putting the time in now on the training field.
Yeah, absolutely. You go through two matches where you shoot 6 shots both times, and you come out with draws when the opponent got more chances. And I think it's important context, and I'm glad that you bring it up on this show, that not all shots are created equally. And I think fans and oftentimes me, this is a new sport for me. I don't necessarily realize that, but that is context that's important to learning the sport and understanding how to assess the performance on the pitch.
Yeah, I think, probably if I go back, earlier in my career, that's something that would have bothered me as well. And I think you look at the quality of the chances versus, like I said, shots from distance. And that was something we'd spoken when we first got here was, okay, if we're gonna take a shot, let's have it be a shot that's going to be something that's going to be realistically that can beat a goalkeeper, not something from 30, 35 yards that we're just crossing our fingers and putting on target. Sure. I think the quality of goalkeeping that you see within the college game has gotten better over the past few years for sure. So you've got to do something special to beat these goalkeepers.
It's been really fun to watch a young player in Ajane Respass so far this season. Leads the team with 3 goals, 2 against Gonzaga this past weekend. I want to start with this. What has made her so effective so early on in her college career?
She's obviously a physical presence, without a doubt. Efficiency in terms of her finishing, and she probably, looking back, she could have had 3 goals in the very first game that she played here as well, and but she was able to brush that off and get the goal in the next game, and later in that game. The kid works hard, and then she's got a really good supporting cast around her in terms of supplying her with the ammunition. Zoe's done a great job for us as always. Livy, Caitlin Pukulba this past weekend, Trinity Morales, and then the players who were able to get a little bit higher up the field from the back as well are doing a really good job around us. So I think it's a team effort to get the players around her and create the chances for her, and she's doing a good job of putting them in the back of the net right now.
I think she's one of those players that you kind of have to see in person to truly grasp the impact that she has on the pitch. You talk about that physicality. I mean, no joke, you might need 2 players to stop her when she gets the ball in the right spot. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously got the size and the height with regards to that piece, and does a really good job of holding the ball up. And we've just got to make sure that when that piece starts to happen, that we put the numbers around her where we can play off of her and protect her that way as well.
So depth, I think, has been one of the main storylines this season. And, on one hand, it's a great thing that you have the depth to be able to come out of 2 tough matches against San Francisco and Gonzaga with draws. But your depth has been tested due to circumstances off the pitch or with injuries, whatever it may be. 2 Ducks got their first start in this match against Gonzaga in Gravante and Pukulba. what'd you see from them, and what have you seen from those newcomers as a whole that have been stepping into, I'd say, a tough situation early in their careers?
Yeah, I mean, we throw a lot of information at them in terms of trying to get those pieces to stick, and I think prior teams had the advantage of we went through 4 or 5 months of in the COVID piece of training without any games. We were able to get that information on board, and now this incoming group have been asked to get that information on board fairly quickly, and so they're doing exceptionally well. You know what I mean? Dealing with the physicality of the college game, just how different it is, how much transition there is within it, and so all of these kids that are if they're making their first starts or they're getting their first minutes for us within the program, they're doing exceptionally well within the group.
Yeah, and I can't help but think about that paying dividends down the line later this season, 2-3 years from now, when those are the players that are the leaders that the youngsters are looking to. These are the experiences they're going to be drawing from to inform them and hopefully lead the Ducks very far into the postseason in the future.
Yeah, and they've got to share those experiences, and that's what we're asking of the current student athletes who are a little bit older. Is you've gone through all these years of different experiences and different things that have happened within your career. How can you use those experiences to teach the people who are joining the program, and so they don't go into the same pitfalls or they don't have the same experiences? How can you almost give them shortcuts to make sure they can progress their career quicker as well?
So Leah Freeman set a career high in saves in the match against Gonzaga with 10. 7 of the saves came in the second half. 3 came in the final 4:30. Yep. Fair to say that she stepped up down the stretch of this ball game and got out of there with a draw. It could have been worse if it were not for Leah Freeman down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean the saves we expect her to make. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think she had the big one in the first half, and I think the standards that Leah has set for herself, the saves that she would expect to make as well. I think a lot of things directly at her in terms of handling those pieces. So again, the standards that she sets for herself, and that's all credit to her that she's able to have the expectation to make those saves.
Yeah, really cool. I think that you have that level of faith in somebody back there, and Leah Freeman continuing to do impressive things on the pitch, absolutely. So a couple tough non-conference games in San Francisco, Gonzaga, getting you ready for another tough stretch in the schedule coming up this weekend, and it starts with the Texas Longhorns. How about those two brands getting together? That's really cool to see at Pat Bay Field, a chance for fans to see a team that, well, you wouldn't usually see in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, it was last season when we were looking at, okay, how can we expand the schedule? How can we get out of conference? We went and played Texas and Baylor out there, and so we obviously had the return on for here as well. And so yeah, it's Ange Kelly. I've known Ange for a long time, the head coach there, and she's done an exceptional job there. They have some really, really good players. Missimo's a heck of a player and really athletic team. So it's a really, really good test, out of region test for us this weekend. And then obviously Boise State on Sunday as well. And Jim Thomas is someone else who I've known for a long time, and he's done an exceptional job there at Boise State in terms of rebuilding that program and making them a real force within their conference and on the West Coast.
So with Texas on Thursday, as always, adults can get in for $5, kids can get in for free, and as an additional incentive, there's going to be a kid zone set up on Thursday as a part of a school supplies drive. What can you share with fans about what you know about that and what the initiative is going to be on Thursday against the Longhorns?
I believe it's bring school supplies and you get a free towel, or is that what it is?
Yeah, so from what I've heard, school supplies are getting really expensive, and the soccer program, Oregon Marketing, wanted to come together and set up a drive to help out the local community. Also, kind of an end of summer celebration with the Kids Zone for kids to play, and it's just going to be a fun environment at Pat Bay Field. And again, a great product on the pitch as well. Texas coming in to this match, having scored 8 goals in 3 games this year, defense is going to be a priority on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I think your best form of defense is trying to get higher up the field, right, and keep the ball higher up the field. So, no, it'll be a really fun environment. I mean, we love having the local community out at the facility, and Like I said, our kids put a great product on the field, so it'll be a fun environment for all, and we look forward to seeing everyone there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you bring school supplies to the drive, you do get a free white rally towel. So what is always already always a good environment could be even more raucous on Thursday. Then Boise State coming on Sunday, a home and home. What are the keys holistically for this team entering the weekend? What are you preaching to the choir?
I think, again, you said about Texas, it's making sure that, we can get pressure high up the field, not allowing teams into our final third, as much as what has happened. And then from there, we've got to, once we win the ball in the final third, we have to keep the ball, higher up the field, create chances. We've not been as efficient as we've wanted on set pieces, on attacking set pieces yet. So we need to continue to invest in that piece. Good service into the box, good, runs in terms of the first phase, and then making sure we're keeping them pinned in the second and third and fourth phases as well.
Graham Abel is the coach of Oregon soccer. Nice enough to join us here on Duck
Appreciate
Insider.
it, as always.
Appreciate it. I'll see you there on Thursday for Texas.
Definitely.
I'm going to be waving my rally towel from the press box. Let's get a break. We're coming back with more Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Lear.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Coming back to the Country Financial Studio, back here on Duck Insider, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Triquez Bridges, a member of Oregon Secondary, spoke to the media last week, had some good things to say about where he thinks he's going to fit into Dan Lanning and Tosh Lupoi's defense. Here is Triquez Bridges.
Kind of a lot of this staff talk about your versatility on the defensive end, and being able to play in multiple positions. Where do you see yourself doing the most damage this fall?
I like that. Corner. I will be playing corner this season and stuff like that. Yep.
What do you like about the position versatility? Or do you want to pick one spot and just kind of solidify yourself there?
Oh no, I don't solidify myself in one position. I want to play different positions. I want to be able to help the team out in many ways. So yeah, corner, safety, nickel, whatever, quarterback if I have to. It doesn't matter. Like wherever the coaches feel like I'm best at, but right now I'm at corner.
Is it boundary or the field?
Both
sides.
Yep.
How do you mentally prepare for the flip for like that?
It's like when I first got here, they moved me to corner, so I've been playing more corner here than safety. And safety is just something I always played in high school, and I know how to play it. So it's not a big change. Just knowing the plays and knowing what to do.
Yeah, on that point, speaking about knowing the plays, knowing the playbook, and playing faster, do you think that's gotten better as fall camp has gone?
Yes. So I had spring to just like learn the plays and get more reps at it and stuff like that. So this fall is just like cleaning it up, just dialing in more on my technique and stuff like that. So the more you know the playbook, the more you like rep it out and stuff like that, the faster you play on the field. So that's what I'm trying to get to.
What stood out about this playbook?
Say it again?
What stood out about the playbook so far for you guys?
I really don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, everything's like, I'm not going to say nothing, but yeah, I don't know.
It's understood.
Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
How's Gonzo impacted this position group and just his leadership?
He's a tall corner, first off. He's quick, fat, one of the fastest person on the team. He just like, he brings that energy as well. He came from Coach Meat where they know, like he been taught well to play a certain way, and he helped the team a lot with his range as well.
Who's the fastest guy on the team? You say he's one of, but who's the fastest guy on the team?
Me. It's me.
What's your mile per hour class?
I'm hitting 22s and 23.
So obviously we know you played corner before, and we knew you were splitting time. Yeah. But it looked like on Saturday you were posing for all the position group photos of the corners. So
yeah.
Are you more corner than safety now? Or are you both? What are you, Quiz?
Right now, corner, focusing on corner, just like reps in and just dialing in and getting ready for the first game. So I would say corner.
It's kind of a similar relationship with you and Dante. It's kind of like last year all over again in that kind of way. We all repping and getting everybody getting reps with the ones and just rotating just to get in the feel of it. So like whoever up will be up. There's no certain depth, but whoever be playing will be playing. Who's next in that outside group? I was just asking Coach Martin about that and asking Coach Lanning about that. Who among the young guys, whether it's Florence, Tucker, Terrell, Dickerson, Barkins, who is next among that group? Because you guys were experienced.
The way we practice is like if somebody down, because like everybody's talent in our room. So it's like someone down, we need to have two corners on the field, no matter who it is. That's how we operate. That's how we play. So all the freshman guys have showed up and have done their part, know their roles. I would say right now, Jaleel Florence, because he been here, so he's kind of you know how as a freshman, once you start learning and start developing, he's more developed than some of the guys, but all of them have talent. All of them doing good at corner. So
how much does spring help him?
Spring, for anybody, spring will help you a lot. So it's getting those reps and just like me learning new defense and just learn and just getting on reps and learning the plays, it help you a lot in the fall. So he doing pretty well. He know a lot of the calls, and when he with some of the freshmen that got here this summer, he correcting the calls and stuff like that. So he's very mature on the field as well. So he's growing a lot.
Triquez Bridges, a big part of the defense last year, had some impressive moments, going to be even bigger this year. And I think, as you could hear there from how he spoke, he's got an awareness of that entire room and is coaching up some of those younger players. Good to see. Let's get a break. We're going to wrap up some notes at the end of the hour on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes!
Too much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Good first show of the week. It's game week. We talked about the 5 biggest games in the Pac-12. Tomorrow's going to be an even bigger show because we're going to be hearing from maybe the 2 most important people in Oregon athletics. So in years past, the head coach of the Ducks during a game week would speak on Sunday. That's a little bit different this year. Dan Lanning's going to be doing his weekly press conferences on Monday evening, so we'll have that fresh audio for you tomorrow. He's going to be talking a lot about the Georgia Bulldogs, which is what we've been waiting for him to talk about. Additionally, on Athletic Director Tuesday, Rob Mullins is going to make his first appearance on the show all year. So myself and Joey Mack, we're going to interview Rob. Make sure to tune in as Rob, for the very first time on this show, talks about what was an uneventful summer with no major headlines whatsoever. So you have that to look forward to. Additionally, just another thing I should hit on. We have usually spoken to Matt Ulmer on Tuesday's shows this year. That's going to be moved to Wednesday, at least during the fall when Coach Lanning is speaking to the media. So that'll do it. Ryan, thanks to you. What are you expecting to hear from Coach Lanning this afternoon? Do you think he's going to?
I don't think we'll find out about the quarterback position.
I don't think so either. That's a for sure. He said last week we're going to find out during the first snap of play. But perhaps he answers some questions about his old employer.
I would be very interested to hear about him talk about some of the coaches on that staff and his relationship.
Mitchell Lee's back in studio. Duck Insider back tomorrow. Remember, Coach's Show Wednesday evenings. Game day coming up on Saturday. Thanks, everybody, and go Ducks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.